In a fast-paced world, every day brings new challenges and new opportunities. At Strayer University, we know a thing or two about getting and staying ahead of change. For over 130 years, we've been providing students like you with innovative tools, customized support, and an education built to empower you, so you can find your way forward and always keep striving. Visit strayer.edu to learn more.
For exclusive podcasts and more, sign up at patreon.com/partnersincrimemedia.
This week's Law & Order Marathon winner is Leslie Chaplin from Albany, New York. Leslie will get a marathon decal showing she watched 26.2 hours of her favorite crime show. To be next week's winner, sign up at lawandorderpodcast.com.
I'm Kevin Flynn with Kimberly and Rebecca Lavoie, and these are their stories.
You think you know who did it, but you don't know who did it. Law and order, law and order, law and order. It's no ordinary police procedural, baby. It's the FNOG of police procedurals, baby. Law and order, law and order, law and order, law and order. These are their stories, these are their stories.
Welcome to These Are Their Stories, the podcast about network TV's most enduring crime franchise and the real-life cases that inspired their shows. I'm Kevin Flynn. Each podcast will break down an episode from either Criminal Intent, SVU, or Original Recipe, and today we're looking at Special Victims Unit, Season 15, Episode 23, Thought Criminal.
No trace of anyone else?
He must have cleaned the place up.
The place isn't clean. There's no sign of bleach there, and he can't just wipe up everybody else's DNA and leave his own.
But he told us what he'd done to kids in there. I mean, why in God's name would anyone make that up?
Joining me to do just that is true crime author and the host of Crime Writers On and Netflix's You Can't Make This Up podcast. It's Rebecca Lavoie. Hello, Rebecca.
I feel so lucky to be here, Kevin.
I know that's a reference. That's
no.
To something
That's on you. That feels that way. I just feel lucky to be here.
Well, I feel lucky to have you. We're actually super lucky to have our special returning guest from the Mount Rushmore of These Are Their Stories guests, and from Date with Dateline. It's Kimberly. Hello, Kimberly.
Mount Rushmore?
Yeah,
yes.
Mount Rushmore.
That's incredible. I was going to say, do I get a special jacket like on SNL or something? But the Mount Rushmore is way better.
It is. We have to get a chisel and carve you out.
Fix the little bump on my nose.
The whole nose is a bump because it's rock. So, Kimberly, we're so happy to have you here because you're going to do something very special for us. You are going to announce the winner of our These Are Your Stories contest. Who is our winner?
The winner is John Gregory from Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Yay! All right. Congratulations, John.
Yay. John, I read your application and I said, he's the one.
It was super competitive, I'll tell you, Kimberly.
Very competitive.
It was.
You're the chosen one, John.
We have so many listeners who are either academics, or lawyers who have like a connection to either Law and Order in their research, or it was what they watched all through college, or we have people who are like Uber fans, but also write fan fiction. So, Kimberly, you have any advice for John when he comes on to be a special guest?
As long as he's not a chomo, he should be fine.
You don't want to cry.
I'm not a chomo.
That was the last episode I was on, we found out. And then there was a repeat in this one.
You get all the chomo.
I saw that and I was like, call back. Yes.
And still, why is it called chomo and not chimo? Because it's not right. And the English major in me is very upset.
Kimberly, remind us of all the franchises. Which two cops are your favorite Law and Order detective team?
Favorite Law and Order detective team.
Okay, well, I always say Finn when I'm on. Finn with anybody.
Yes.
But I have been watching the Original Recipe reruns a lot. And then now I get more of your jokes. So like now I understand. Richard Belzer's amazing. Jerry Orbach is amazing. Green. I don't know all of their names. The Italian guy. I love them all.
Profaci.
Yes. What is the deal with Profaci? I've only seen him like 4 times pop up.
Yeah.
Why does
he's an exposition, like he's a human index card exposition dumper is what he is. He just comes in, says something, and then leaves.
That's Profaci. It was like seeing a celebrity like out in the world. I was like, that's Profaci.
Yeah.
It was very exciting. So I do have to say Jerry Orbach is now quickly becoming just, I get why everyone's obsessed.
Do you understand why we named our dog Briscoe now?
I get it.
All right, now let's take a look at the first half of this episode. Special Victims Unit, Season 15, Episode 23, Thought Criminal. Just to note that because of a 2-part season opener, some streaming services, and I'm looking at you, Hulu, list this as Episode 22. So don't at me on the socials and think you're really smart by correcting me. I've already covered it. Your mother happy with you? Okay. Who wouldn't want to ask a 14-year-old Bangkok cam girl to show off her flat chest? But this live stream is actually a sting being run by SVU to hopefully find a pedophile or two. They learn one of the people watching is a municipal payroll administrator, and Amaro and Finn rest Gordon Montleaf at his desk. And so ends another 2.5-minute episode of Law & Order Special Victims Unit.
That girl and I were just talking.
About sex with a 14-year-old.
No, I saw her. She is not 14.
That doesn't matter. You thought she was.
Wait, so I'm arrested for thinking?
When Gordon isn't forthcoming with information, Lieutenant Declan Murphy poses as a fellow suspect who wins his trust by crying and peeing on himself. Benson and Murphy tell Barba that Gordon's been on a dark website where they've spotted another online user expressing fantasies of not just raping kids, but also torturing and murdering them. Their new suspect is high-end art photographer Simon Wilkes. Murphy poses as a wealthy dude willing to pay Wilkes not only for his hidden stash of high-end child pornography, but also for hurting kids. After another ruse where Finn pretends to be a well-connected, sunglasses-at-night kind of procurer of ill-gotten goods, the photographer leads detectives to his hidden, soundproof chamber filled with implements of torture and his bold talk about cutting the skin off of children. All right, so we start by what we think is an underage cam show out of Bangkok, but we find out it's really a sting operation run by the appropriate police unit, Special Victims Unit.
Entrapment much?
I'm 14 years old and I live in Thailand. I'm all alone.
So Lucky is the underage decoy, but she's really a cop. In order to make the sting work, though, they've got to get viewers to incriminate themselves. So someone asks, "Will you take off your shirt?" And she says, "I'm not going to do the voice."
I couldn't believe she did the voice.
With my shirt on. It is hot in here.
What kind of 1960s seduction scene is that?
Oh, gosh.
It was like, yes, I appear to have spilled something on my negligee.
She was just reading Nelly lyrics. What are you talking about?
I want to lie down on my fainting couch.
No, I'm just getting so hot, I'm going to take my clothes off.
I have to say she at least looked underage. I've seen some of these where the undercover person looks like 35. So.
Yeah. If I didn't recognize the actress, I'd be like, wow, she's really young.
She's really young, yeah. And she's so short next to Benson.
Yeah. For real, though, I mean, to catch these criminals, she had to show her tits, right?
Yeah, sure. But you know what? She doesn't mind because she's getting the bad guys.
Getting the bad guys.
Yeah.
And her coworkers are like, fuck yeah.
Doing the Lord's work.
Yep. By the way, when Murphy is urging the cops to get these pervs to say something incriminating, Barba is standing over the whole operation like an evil general.
Yes.
His hands by his side, kind of like, bring them to me.
Yeah. He's like one of those giant villains in like the 80s, like in Time Bandits, you know? Like the unseen smoke monster in Lost.
Are you guys
He's
doing
that guy.
Barba slander right now? Because I won't be here for it. I will leave.
He's hot Thanos is what he is.
Hot Thanos is fine. Yeah. Why does Donald Logue always have his glasses on his head like a headband?
Because he doesn't need them. They're there for character to make him look smart.
And like, this is a guy who apparently loves going undercover.
Yeah.
He's like, you're getting assigned to the sex crimes unit. I am going undercover all the time. Any chance I can get.
Do you know why?
Why?
'Cause that's how you can impregnate your colleagues. That's why.
Oh, yeah. Got to get out of the office and into Rollins' pants. Exactly, yeah. Well, but, you know, they're doing that sting, and Barba says they're not getting any hits in Manhattan, but...
Heavy in the Eastern Bloc, China, and the American South.
No comment.
No comment.
You know what that is?
Sweet wisdom from Finn.
So we're going to talk about him in the Hey, It's That guys, but Gordon, the guy they arrest, is Kevin from The Office.
No shit. Really?
Yeah. Can you imagine what that chat room must have been like with Kevin from The Office? And then take off your socks. And then your training bra. And I can touch my pee-pee.
He's giving his famous chili recipe to all the chomos. And they're like, that's not why. That's another chat. It's the chili recipe chat. You're in the wrong chat.
Oh, my
Michael.
God.
Yeah,
Oh, my
it would be pretty bad.
God, that poor guy.
He is like the highest paid person on Cameo.
Really?
Yes.
I love that for him.
Yeah.
I love that for him. Higher than George Santos?
I don't know. I don't know if these are updated figures.
I gotcha.
It was
gotcha.
a couple of years ago.
So as long as we're on the topic of pee-pee, Murphy tries to get info out of Gordon by being placed in a cell and crying about being a chomo. And to really sell his performance, he pisses his pants.
My life is over. I can't go back. You know what they do to us in prison? I can't go back.
Hey, man, what are you doing? You can't pee in here.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He pisses on the floor.
Again, this is not his job, right? He is highly paid. He has a private office. There are actual undercover people he could have had. He wanted to do this.
But this is how he gets promoted, because he goes above and beyond.
Right.
He commits to the bit.
He commits to the
they
bit.
dressed him like the most stereotypical child molester ever. He's wearing like a members only jacket. His hair is swooped over and he's wearing the 70s perv glasses that everyone somehow came back in last year.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he's like, I have my Chomo go bag. So if I have to quickly do it up.
Chester molester dress up kit.
That urination, they probably were using like the fake penis that they use when they need clean urine for a drug test, right?
No, I think he whipped it out and peed on the floor.
I wondered about that. Was that like a blood bag where you to look like you got shot? Or
He
like a
peed
pastry bag where you just
on
kind
the
of squeeze.
He peed on the floor. Because you know why? He does not care about the people who have to clean up in there. They were cleaning up pee anyway. He's just, I'm mixing my pee with the other pee.
I'll just say, NBC, he was already selling it. That was just extra.
I think Finn offered him some sort of pee bag and he's like, no, I'm method. I go for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a big gulp before this to prepare and I'm ready to go. Locked and loaded.
Just wait. Watch me play the husband to Rollins in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Watch me.
Look at my range.
Yeah, his penis has been really busy. But we say what you want about his leadership style. I do not see Cregan committing to the bit like that.
No.
So Olivia and Declan go to Rafa with I'm using everybody's first name.
Yeah, on first name basis.
Yeah. They go with the evidence that they uncovered, a computer tablet hidden inside a book with its pages carved out to make a secret hole in the book for this tablet.
Okay, so they keep saying how dumb Kevin from The Office is, like little sly things, like he's no mastermind. I don't think he's a textbook overthinker. And then they cut out a book because obviously he's not reading. That's what they're He doesn't read.
Yeah.
This is an elaborate bit of secrecy for a guy who's watching live streams at his work computer.
And he also gave himself the name Flash, which is not the name I would choose if I was in sex chat rooms.
No. But his first name's Gordon. It's Flash Gordon.
No, it kept going in my head. Flash.
Yeah.
Do you know what else works to hide your tablet from authorities finding it?
What?
A password.
My password is password. So, violent comments on the website Kids Without Shame. .com.
They just say what it is.
It's the kids who don't have shame here.
Yeah.
By the way, that's what's amazing to me. It's
Right?
the kids.
It's like getting kids without shame.
Okay,
Checking
good.
out kids with no shame.
Right. No, it's the kids, though. Kids without shame. These
Right.
kids have no shame. None.
1877. Okay.
1877 shame for kids.
Yeah.
That we're gonna say. Yeah.
So this leads them to art photographer Simon Wilkes, who just happens to be having a gallery showing that evening. And again, demonstrating Murphy's range. He and Rollins pose as a bougie couple interested in framed photos of shirtless boys.
I love when Rollins is undercover.
The photographer's my husband.
You're married to Simon Wilkes? Is he here? I'd love to meet him.
Oh, that's great. He's right over there.
You know what? Do you have a catalog I can look at?
Whatever you want, baby. Just get a price.
Do they have a Devil Wears Prada closet in the SVU squad room?
Right. Like, was that Rollins' outfit?
White sheath dress, the red cuff bracelet, the gorgeous hair. You know, Rollins does not own those clothes.
So
no.
They need a stylist who does sting operations.
Yeah.
And that would be a great job for Katie, because Katie's been a stylist.
This is my assignment for the day. I had to make one undercover cop look like she's 14. I had to make one lieutenant look like he's a chomo. And then I have to take this Southern belle and make her look like a high-end art patron.
Upper East Side bitch.
Talk about range.
Yeah. She looked great.
She looks amazing, and she always acts like she's turned on by everything when she's undercover. Like, she could be working at like a trash dump facility, and she would act like the trash turns her on.
Yeah, cans without shame. All right, we have a couple of Hey, It's That girls.
So many.
Hey, it's that girl.
So who is the actress playing defense attorney Minona Ephron?
Didn't CSU find DNA and fingerprints from my client? Yet not one shred of forensic evidence from anyone else.
I know this one.
All right, you take it.
She's my big fat constitutional rights, Nia Vardalos.
Yeah, Nina Vardalos, Oscar and Golden Globe nominee for My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and the AARP Movies for Grown-Ups nominee for My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2.
Did 3 not get nominated for anything?
Well, yeah, for My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, Nia was nominated by the Alliance of Women Film Journalists for the award She Deserves a New Agent. I think that means someone who could, probably should be getting bigger roles and not someone who just keeps getting their jobs and shit.
Yeah.
I think it's a positive thing.
Yeah.
But Nia's first agent told her that she was too ugly to be a leading lady and not fat enough to be a character actor.
Yeah.
So she said, fuck you, and wrote a screenplay that turned into a $369 million film.
That's right. She was performing it, I think, as a one-woman show or something.
That Rita Wilson produced, I think.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then they were producing it, and they were like, and she cast herself or whatever, and that was like and producers didn't want her.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like she would only do it with her, and it was amazing.
I love
it. It was
that.
amazing.
She has a film credit on the film Sorority Sluts 3, Spring Break.
Oh,
the outtakes.
3. Okay. I thought it was 2. Yeah.
Yeah. She was not actually in the porno. She was invited by a friend, and Nia said no, but I'll make food and bring it to the set. So they put her in IMDb as the caterer.
Nice.
So she got all this stuff and then caterer on a porno. So.
Baklava for porn actresses.
It has to be like clean foods that aren't going to get on people's, like, stain their, well, they're not wearing clothes, just stain their bodies,
No beet salad.
Exactly.
Definitely no ranch dressing on the salad.
No asparagus.
Yeah, no asparagus. Definitely, don't want the asparagus.
All pineapple all the time.
Got to keep it tight. Yeah. We have a Hey, It's That Guy.
Hey, it's that guy.
Who's playing Shutterbug Simon Wilkes?
It's true. I have images in my head and I try to recreate them. But it's digital trompe l'oeil. I don't expect you to understand.
Joshua Malina.
Yes.
Who I had a crush on up until this episode.
Aaron Sorkin's muse.
Yes.
Yeah. That was his breakout role, was in Aaron Sorkin's dramedy Sports Night. And then he played Deputy Comms Director Will Bailey on The West Wing. And then after that, he's played Attorney General Dave Rawson on Scandal.
That's not all. He was in the play A Few Good Men on Broadway, but Bold with Aaron Sorkin. And he was in the movie American President. Like, Aaron Sorkin fucking loves him.
Yeah. His first on-screen credit is A Few Good Men.
Yeah.
Because he had a small role in that.
But it's like, he may as well be cocaine. That's how much Aaron Sorkin loves this guy.
His Twitter bio says, I ruined The West Wing.
I think he had a podcast where he rewatched The West Wing.
He did.
Yeah.
A very successful one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we just agree that doing podcast recaps about NBC dramas is super lame?
Lame. Also, NBC true crime shows super lame.
Well, do you know why he says he
guys.
ruined The West Wing? You know why he says you didn't watch The West Wing? You know why Kevin didn't watch The West Wing?
Why?
Do you want to admit it, Kevin? Do you want to confess?
Do we really want to go there?
Because he was watching the fucking Drew Carey show instead, which was on at the same time.
I couldn't get the VCR to work. Like when I found out that like you could tape one thing and then watch another, it was like, what is this
Mind-blowing.
interdimensional travel? Yeah.
Next time you make fun of me for having a droid, I'm going to just scream, you didn't
You
watch
do
The
that.
West Wing. You have no credibility here.
When Kevin and I got together, I just assumed he'd seen The West Wing, and I was like making West Wing references, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, why? And he's like, because I was watching The Drew Carey Show, a show, by the way, that's quoted and thought about all the time. So, Kevin, the reason that Joshua Malina says he ruined The West Wing is because he replaced the beloved Rob Lowe on that show.
I was fine
FYI.
with it, actually. I prefer Joshua Malina. No offense.
He started off as Josh, and now he's trying to take his career in a more dramatic direction, so he's now going by Joshua Malina, and Rick Schroeder says that's a great plan. It'll work. Can you name the actress playing Amaro's wife, Maria?
Yes. That's Laura Benanti.
You know what? If you take this to court, you're going to force me to bring up things that you don't want on record. So for your sake and for Zara's, you better let this go.
Laura Benanti, she's a big-time Broadway star, won the Tony and Drama Desk Awards for Gypsy. She's had some success on the screen. She's currently on Amy Schumer's show Life of Beth and as Kiki Hope on the new Gossip Girl. And she was also Supergirl's aunt in Supergirl.
Didn't she play Melania Trump on late night TV?
Yeah, she had a recurring role in these skits on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert as Melania Trump, and I'm just praying to God she never gets to be on that show again, if you can read between the lines.
No comment.
No comment.
Belly, do you know who's playing their daughter, Zara?
No.
I'll miss you, Daddy.
I miss you too.
That's Allison Fernandez. She would go on to play Amber in the series Team Kylie and as teenage Jane in Jane the Virgin.
Oh.
And she was also the mutant Ice Girl in the X-Men spinoff Logan.
So she's doing fine.
Good for
Doing
her.
fine. She was also Princess Lily on ABC's Once Upon a Time.
So for a child of divorce, like she's doing great.
Good,
I
yeah.
always say divorce is hardest on the kids, but not this one.
Good thing her mom moved to LA. Look at all the opportunities she had.
Exactly.
Allison will send you a quinceañera announcement on Cameo for $30.
Wow.
Or she'll give a message to Rebecca for $30. I don't have it. She hasn't sent it to me yet.
Did you
but
really
I did.
Shut the fuck up.
I did, and I had her say something nice about Danny Pino because your favorite character is Amaro.
Oh my God. Oh no. You didn't really tell her that, did you?
Yeah. Anyway, that was $30 well spent. So did you recognize the actress playing literal jailbait, Lucky?
Okay. It's a dirty job, but I like getting these guys.
Yes.
You recognize her?
I did.
Who's that?
She was Kimiko Glenn from Orange is the New Black.
Exactly.
Yes.
Motormouth Brooke Soso for 6 seasons on Orange is the New Black. She's also the voice of Baby Shark.
No.
Yes.
The-
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
The song?
The song, the cartoon.
No.
Yeah.
I bet she does a lot of voiceover work, and she has one of those voices.
She does.
She did one of them in this episode.
She did one.
It made me very uncomfortable.
One of those voices.
Yeah, she's Baby Shark. By the way, you cannot see Bluey's junk on Netflix, but you can see Baby Shark's tits there. So that's great.
What?
You can see him on Orange is the New Black.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
It wasn't that kind of Baby Shark.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Do.
Baby. Okay. I don't want to be flagged by Spotify.
That's
for
true.
Being so close to it. She's also in the Spider-Verse animated films as Penny Parker. That's the multiverse Spider-Man who dresses like a Catholic schoolgirl and fights crime inside a robot.
Good for her.
That's very okay.
Typecasting.
During the previous actors' strike, she tried to make a point about the financing. She says that she's only ever made $24.30 in residuals from Orange is the New Black.
Damn. Streaming, damn.
Which is not enough to purchase a cameo from Allison Fernandez.
Oh, yeah.
That's insane. That's how much I make from my little shitty roles that I had from when I worked in Hollywood that were nothing.
Wow.
By the way, $24 is still more than Kimberly is making on this show today. So, you know. Okay.
It's also, by the way, more than we make making this fucking podcast.
We have to have a serious conversation about that.
It's a passion project.
Yeah, I've started doing cameos.
Haven't you spent $30 on cameos? They're not making $30 back. So
Freighter makes more money making this podcast than we make making this podcast.
You need a Patreon.
Yeah. So can you tell me the name of the actor and give me the actor's name playing payroll perv Gordon Monteith?
There was this live streaming webcast from Estonia a few months ago. Orastes kept sending messages to the master, asking him to hurt the boy.
Brian Baumgartner?
Yeah, you got it. Brian Baumgartner, best known as Kevin on The Office.
Kevin.
Well, life is still good 10 years after The Office went off the air. As you might have seen Kevin at the Super Bowl, hanging out with Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day at Gronk's party.
Oh.
It's living life large.
Did not see that.
They're good. Those Office people are making hella residuals, I bet.
Yes.
You can have Brian say encouraging things to you for $195 on Cameo.
Well, that's not the most expensive cameo.
No,
I know. Not. I know Ice-T is getting $800.
Yeah.
800?
Yeah.
Worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet wisdom from Finn via Cameo.
The actor playing Oscar from The Office is asking for $200.
Wow.
I think a quinceañera message from Oscar is not $5 better than Kevin.
No.
You're a woman now? I can't even imagine what it would say. Again, after the success of
I really like your dress.
Do you also speak English and Spanish?
You know, in America, girls have a sweet 16.
But I think you're still sweet. Yeah, it's just creepy.
It just comes off really pervy.
So after the success of the Office Girls podcast, Brian recently finished up his podcast called The Office Deep Dive. And again, I think we should reiterate, nothing is sadder than having a recap podcast about shows on NBC.
Wow.
Am I right, girls?
Absolutely.
So they want to go after Wilkes because not only does he talk about sex with kids, but also torturing them. So Murphy wants to bring Finn in for a sting and have him pose as the kind of pimp who can get anything. So Finn shows up dressed like Wesley Snipes and Blade.
I said The Matrix with rhinestones.
I love it.
Again, the costuming for it is like, I've got everything this episode. Wilkes says he can't pay for a child from Mexico, but he has an idea on how he could pay that off.
Better keep talking.
A venue, soundproofed, hidden.
What's that gonna do for me?
Live stream it. People will pay.
Sure, I'll just run some credit cards, buy a URL, take out Facebook ads, really generate some online buzz, and that's how we'll make the thousands of dollars.
Will Bailey has a torture room. It's so depressing.
It is. It really is.
Kevin doesn't know who Will Bailey is because he was watching the Drew Carey show.
I actually did the research. Yeah, Wilkes takes him back to his place where he reveals a secret door behind a movable bookcase, Batcave style.
What do you think?
All this stuff works?
The boys I bring in here are henceforth never the same.
You're a sick freak. I like you.
They find a torture table and an elaborate collection of saws and implements. It's a soundproof room, yet it has a window which opens and overlooks a school.
Convenient.
Yeah, that seems odd. That seems to take away from the soundproof nature of it.
Yeah. But where does one purchase a torture table? Torture tables are us, or
isn't it just like a
dentist chair?
It looked like an autopsy table to me.
It looked like
reclined.
the Steve Martin dentist in Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, that's a good point. Etsy.
Torture? Yeah, Etsy.
You can get anything on Etsy.
The person being tortured to be comfortable, so it reclines.
But you still have to keep it stainless steel because you got to wash it down.
Yeah,
that's right.
Afterwards, yeah.
That's right.
all the tears. So this torture chamber, who installs that?
Yeah.
I know general contractors aren't always the most discerning people, but who builds that and doesn't ask questions?
They need to make contractors mandated court reporters.
Yes.
You need to swear them in, and then they have a duty if they see something suspicious.
This is just like that storage box that they found that time, that like giant shipping container that also had a torture chamber in it.
This happened multiple times.
And I
don't know how people get electricity,
into a storage shipping container.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then also have like a drainage thing in the middle of their shipping container.
Did you have a plumber there? Did you have...
Yeah. People think
the guys are like with the paint roller going like, this seems like absolutely normal.
He goes home and tells his wife, you won't believe the place I installed today.
Yeah. You won't believe the place that I brought that hospital shade of green and used it today. It was wild.
But maybe without the tools, would it look as... Yeah, no, it would still look horribly creepy. It's behind
He had a
bookcase.
tile installer come in there.
He did.
Yeah.
He had a grouter.
Had to pick the grout.
Uh-huh.
He had to do that snap chalk string thing to make sure everything's lined up right.
He had to consult with him and say, how wide do you want these grout lines, sir? Quarter,
What shade
eighth.
of white? Yeah,
Maybe
eggshell white.
he just told them he was going to be doing illegal abortions. And they're like, fine, I don't care.
Abortion is legal in New York.
But he wanted to do the illegal kind.
Okay, all right. Here's
He was like planning ahead. He's like, I don't know how many years
Roe
with
is
this
going to be in effect.
Yeah. I met this guy named Kavanaugh, and it's not looking good. I met him on the same torture website. By the way, when you build a secret room, do you build the secret room and then the secret door second? Or do you do the secret door first and then do the creepy room behind it? Which makes more sense?
Is the chicken or the egg, really?
Well, I mean, I think it's like they build this room and they're like, he gets, all the torture implements and the saws and the drain in the floor. And then he's like, hey, one last thing. Before you go, can you put this bookcase on a movable track and block the egress?
Mm-hmm.
No, I thought it'd be like one last thing.
Ask Kirk Cousins. He has a secret room in his house that his wife makes him keep all of his football memorabilia in because she doesn't want to look at it.
Oh, my God.
Well, these are also trophies. Yeah. So they bust him after like he has like this maniacal show of everything, and then he takes like this bone saw, turns it on, and he says something like, let's cut the skin off that kid.
Want some skin in the game? Let's peel it off that boy.
By the way, that is not a bone saw. That is a cast saw.
Yeah.
Using for cutting open plaster casts. If you ever broke your arm, you know what that was. It's a very cool tool that will cut the cast, but it will not hurt the skin. Put your hand right up on it. So you cannot fillet a child with that.
Well, that was our key. That's how deep they went on the show, that he had actually never done it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's our clue.
It was a fantasy saw.
Yeah.
It's a fantasy.
As opposed to just like checking it for blood.
Yeah. Kevin knows a lot about casts and broken bones because I broke my leg once and I didn't have a cast yet. And he slammed my broken leg in a closing door.
He would have learned not to do that if he watched The West Wing, but he was watching the Carrie show.
Disney Plus and Hulu are better together in the Disney Bundle for a low price. On Disney Plus, get into the thrilling Percy Jackson and the Olympians and Marvel Studios' The Marvels. On Hulu, the stakes are high in FX's feud, Capote versus the Swan, and the new season of Life and Beth. All of these and more are now streaming. Get the Disney Bundle with Disney Plus and Hulu. See DisneyBundle.com for details.
Hey, this is Jeff Lewis from Radio Andy. Live and uncensored, catch me talking with my friends about my latest obsessions, relationship issues, and bodily ailments. With that kind of drama that seems to follow me, you never know what's going to happen.
You can listen to Jeff Lewis live at home or anywhere you are. Download the SiriusXM app for over 425 channels of ad-free music, sports, entertainment, and more. Subscribe now and get 3 months free. Offer details apply.
All right, now take a look at the second half of this episode. CSU scours Wilkes' torture chamber, but they can't find any evidence.
Luminol every inch. Check all film and storage spaces. Pull up the floors, knock out the walls.
This place is pristine. He brought boys here?
So he scrubbed it clean. He's careful.
So what does he do with the bodies?
Open up the drains and test for chemicals. I want a drop of blood, a shard of bone, something, anything.
Wilkes tells Rollins and Amaro that the secret room is for meditation, and his photos of child torture pornography are deep fakes he made with Photoshop. Barba arraigns him for attempted kidnapping and abuse, but the detectives can't find any victims. Huang says Wilkes may not have ever assaulted a kid, but his fantasies are escalating, and it's only a matter of time. Defense attorney Efron tears apart their case, saying it's all just a fantasy. Amanda and Nick find Wilkes' first wife, who says she kicked him out with an agreement she'd keep her mouth shut if he'd stay away from their 10-year-old son. Barba confronts Wilkes with this on the stand, and he admits leaving because of having those fantasies. During closing arguments, Efron warns the jury not to convict someone for the thoughts in their head. They agree, and they find the defendant not guilty, which really gets under Amaro's skin. The next day, estranged wife Maria tells him that she's accepted a job in Los Angeles and will be taking Zara with her. Nick later sees Wilkes with a very conspicuous camera taking photos at a playground. He refuses to stop, and after a shove, he throws the first punch, and Amaro responds by kicking the shit out of him before being arrested for assault. Okay, so they expect to find blood and other DNA evidence of a child victim, but there's nothing except Wilkes' own DNA, and you know exactly what kind of DNA it is.
You think he's skeeting all over his meditation room?
It's everywhere. Especially by that window overlooking the school. I think, yeah.
Instead of crystals and patchouli, it's a saws and forceps meditation room.
Yeah.
It's a different kind. So that's how he hired the contractors. He said, it's my meditation room.
My
But it's
meditation
just,
room.
Don't judge someone's meditation.
That's right.
It needs an industrial drain in the middle of the floor.
That's right. I don't do hot yoga. I do saw yoga.
Yeah, they can't find the DNA. They can't find a body. They can't find any victims. No one has ever been so disappointed that no one was molested. They're like, God damn it.
I love that they didn't check this first, too. Like, before they arrested him, they didn't check to see if they had actual evidence, if the photos were photoshopped, if there were missing children. They're doing it after the fact.
I love Rollins' sense of like civil rights in this episode. She's so great. From the jump, she's like, maybe we should listen to his side of the story.
I could tell she was doing it for him because she's turned on by him still. She's like, he's an artist. I feel like his art.
It's just the human form. Yeah, the photos he has of the kids being tortured, he says, are deep fakes. He did them on Photoshop, and this is why we can't have nice things. So at Wilkes' arraignment, Barba says something that no one has said in 15 years.
The charges against Mr. Wilkes are especially heinous.
Aren't all the crimes especially heinous? I thought they all were.
Unless the opening credits are lying to us.
Yeah.
Well, they've been telling us that. Like, listen, we have been programmed to understand that these kinds of crimes are especially heinous.
Yeah.
Like, especially heinous.
Do they need like another elite unit within the elite unit to handle the especially heinous crimes?
Especially heinous.
You need some new adjectives, really. There needs to be something worse than heinous.
I think molestation is especially heinous because when they say, like, right after that, there's the theme song and the headline molestation.
Molestation.
Yes.
So I'm like, you know what's especially heinous? Molestation.
I feel like this episode wasn't even the worst that I've come on this show to discuss. And so I was great. For me, this was less heinous. And it's
He was
horrible.
just heinous. He was just heinous.
It was just regular heinous, like regular level heinous.
There's no victim, there's no blood, there's no DNA, there's no complaint. It's especially heinous, Your Honor.
There's no dead people. There's nobody fucking their mom. Like, none of
You
that.
made me come on and talk about Liv having to play Russian roulette with Lewis. That was horrific.
There's no buried alive child that they're racing the clock to save.
Exactly.
There's nothing like
It's all
that.
fantasy.
We actually had it, Chomo, and we let him go.
Kevin from The Office is the worst offender. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So they bring in Wong.
Bring it Wong. He's not wrong. Bring it Wong.
This is BD Wong's penultimate episode, second to last appearance.
Boo.
Wong says he's really concerned because Wilkes has never sought therapy, so he's okay with being a sadist, and he's really worried that he's never acted on his urges.
So he hasn't been fighting them?
No. They've actually become progressively more graphic over time. And then a few years ago, it reached the point where thinking wasn't enough. That's why he photoshopped those images and built that chamber.
He's escalating.
Like an addict.
Meaning he hasn't committed crimes before, therefore he will commit a crime.
Wong is like those three women in the tub.
The Minority Report.
He's a precog.
He is. I love that they say, well, both sides agreed that you're the expert. So everyone loves Wong. Both
That's
sides.
Right. Both sides.
They're saying, why don't we bring in Wong? And everybody danced.
Everyone is excited. Yeah.
Everyone's so excited.
Rebecca, you have not robbed a bank yet, therefore you will rob a bank.
Yes, I'm you know how I'm escalating? I keep taking money out of the ATM.
Yeah.
Clearly I'm
God,
escalating.
There's a pattern.
This is, as Barba says, a grenade with a pin pulled out. Hasn't gone off yet, but it's still a danger to society.
Listen, I'm writing checks. I'm using my credit cards. I'm taking money out of the ATM.
It's especially heinous.
Yeah, I ordered some shit from LL Bean today.
You're a grenade.
100%.
You must be stopped. Your Honor, we request no bail.
Oh, I bought some Property Brothers peel and stick wallpaper from Lowe's.
Okay, enough.
God. No, once you're into the Property Brothers stuff, then you're too far gone.
Yeah,
if
clearly
you
gonna
buy
rob a
stuff
bank.
from Chip and Joanna Gaines, then you're way too far gone.
So at trial, Wilkes defends himself by saying, hey,
I take photographs of weddings and bar mitzvahs. What happened to me could happen to them.
dude, you're a gallery artist.
No.
You are not a wedding photographer.
I'm so glad that you noted that, Kevin, because if he's taking photos at weddings and bar mitzvahs, he's not doing it right.
No. I had a photographer at my bat mitzvah, and I'm pretty sure he worked at like hot dog on a stick as his main job. There's no way this guy does all of these things.
Well, he might do weddings. He'd be like, bring the flower girl closer.
Okay.
Get closer. Now show me some leg. Yeah, he could definitely. So of all the gin joints in all the world, after the acquittal, the Wilkes picked the same restaurant to celebrate at, where the squad is ruminating about the loss. By the way, it's a white tablecloth restaurant with 5 people sitting around it, and only one of them has ordered something, and it's Barba Scotch. You know that waiter is pissed,
hates
right?
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get you appetizer something, please?
Just, can I get some bread? Thank you. And 4 waters.
You know Liv's going to order one of her jugs of wine, though. There's no way she's not. Remember when they teased us with Liv might have a drinking problem?
Yes.
For like 5 minutes?
Yes.
And now she's still glugging the wine?
What's his name said he was worried about her. And then she like stopped. Because if you have alcoholism, all it takes is your boyfriend to go, just take it easy tonight. And then you're fine. You don't have alcoholism anymore.
That's right. That's right.
We got to listen to the man. You know? So meanwhile, like that other waiter who's there is like, oh, are we celebrating something special? It's like, yeah, I beat the rap.
How much do you have to love your husband to stick with him through these like pedophilia, child skinning charges and be like, no, it's just in his head. It doesn't bother me. Because he hasn't acted on it, even though his first wife won't talk to him anymore. No, but we're going to go to a nice dinner with white tablecloths. It's fine.
He must be
good in
something, rich, good in bed. I don't know. Because he's not. I don't know.
There's a lid for every pot.
Yes, there's a lid for every pot. I mean, I got Kevin.
Yeah, it's true. You do put up with a lot.
Yeah. I do pull your hair pretty hard.
Not this much. It's still some.
Yeah, not that much.
As this, to be clear.
There is an important B plot in this episode. Maria and Zara are visiting from Washington. She and Nick Amaro are currently estranged.
Good for her.
She tells him that she might take this job in Los Angeles, and at first encourages him to come with them.
You're considering taking Zara across the country for me?
No. I don't know. Maybe you can come too.
Come on.
I see what this job is doing to you. Could be a fresh start. There are a lot of options for a former New York detective out there.
Later, Nick tells Liv that he's considering going, but at the close of the episode, Maria says that she's going with or without him, and don't fight it because, well, you are you. So Amaro comes across Wilkes taking photos at the playground, and the motherfucker's not even being sneaky about it. giant lens. He looks like he's in the end zone for the Super Bowl, like trying to get action photo. So Amaro snaps and begins punching Will.
Hands in the air! I'm on the job. Keep him up! I'm on the job, and you're under arrest.
To me, this is the end of the old Amaro and sort of the beginning of a better defined character, Amaro. He's still maybe problematic, but he's more complicated, maybe more complicated than problematic in his final season. I think they finally figured out a way to
redeem him,
but make him different from Stabler. All this Stabler would have totally kicked this guy's ass. Yeah, but Stabler would have brought him into the interrogation room where nobody could see it. He wouldn't have just done it,
and he would have said, "I have a." Oh no, he did say. Amaro did say, "I have a child." How messed up is this that they can't just get a order that keeps him away from photographing children? And where are the parents that they're fine with this man with the long lens camera shooting their children at the park?
They're like, do you have any copies of those pictures? I haven't taken any of my kid lately.
Are you doing another gallery show? Because I'd love for my child to be famous.
I don't know where those parents are, but I know where those kids are. They all rushed over like when Ralphie was beating up Scott Farkas. Their mouths hanging out.
Fight. I loved it.
I became conscious of a steady torrent of obscenities and swearing of all kinds was pouring out of me as I screamed.
Yeah.
So let me point out that Wilkes was on trial yesterday for taking photos, and he gets up first thing in the morning. He got up early, right?
He's dedicated to his craft.
He's like, honey, I have to go replenish my porn supply. The cops took it all.
I have to go replenish my supply of things to Photoshop later for torture photos to meditate with.
Disney Plus and Hulu are better together in the Disney bundle for a low price. On Disney Plus, get into the thrilling Percy Jackson and the Olympians and Marvel Studios' The Marvels. On Hulu, the stakes are high in FX's feud, Capote versus the Swan, and the new season of Life and Beth. All of these and more are now streaming. Get the Disney bundle with Disney Plus and Hulu. See DisneyBundle.com for details.
Radio Andy.
Hey, it's Andy Cohen. Join me on Andy Cohen Live, where it's just you, me, and some of the world's biggest celebrities. Paris Hilton, Chelsea Handler, Seth Rogen. I love you, Miley. Thank you so much.
You can listen to Andy Cohen Live at home or anywhere you are. No car required. Download the SiriusXM app for over 425 channels of ad-free music, sports, entertainment, and more. Subscribe now and get 3 months free. Offer details apply.
All right, let's take a look at the real-life story that inspired this episode. It's time for Rip from the Headlines.
You think you know who did it. You think you know who did it. But you don't know who did it. You don't know who did it. Rip from the Headlines.
Some inspiration for this story comes from the case of the so-called Cannibal Cop, Gilberto Valle. Born in Queens, Valle was a New York City patrolman. He met his wife on an online dating site. By 2012, the couple had a 2-year-old daughter. When he wasn't walking a beat on the Upper West Side, Valle spent his time on a website called Dark Fetish Net. There, he would secretly chat about his fantasies of rape, torture, and cannibalism. Though his posts often contained disclaimers that he wasn't serious about it, Valle also wrote there was a particular woman he wanted to kidnap and bring to Pakistan where other users with the same fetish could cook and eat her. When his wife discovered the posts, she reported him to the police. Investigators say Valle used a police database to look up the woman and accused him of plotting with others to abduct her. The bizarre story fueled tabloid coverage, but also debate on whether Valle could be imprisoned for what had been a sexual fantasy that he'd never acted on. He was convicted in 2013, but the appeals court threw it out, saying there was insufficient evidence to prove a genuine conspiracy. Today, Gil Valle lives in Nevada as a book author.
I'm going by the look on your face, Kimberly. You might not be familiar with this case.
No. My jaw is on the floor.
There's a really good documentary about it.
Wow.
If Dateline hasn't covered it, I probably don't know it.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Yeah. So Valle exchanged emails with a Pakistani man with the online handle of Throat Slitter.
Okay, subtlety.
About bringing a 25-year-old woman to butcher together. Valle said he'd cook her at 160 degrees because that's how you get the meat from getting too tough. Am I right, folks?
Yes. A nice slow braise.
Yeah.
I'm a vegetarian.
Oh, a little sous vide, maybe?
If you wanted medium rare, that's like 145, but you really gotta...
Would being a vegetarian exclude you from eating people? Because people aren't...
So. I think it counts as meat. Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah, unless I'm on a desert island and for my survival.
Just checking. Yeah, okay.
Well, some of what he was prosecuted on was conspiracy. It had to do with this exchange of emails. So they said that amounted to a conspiracy to commit kidnapping and whatever. And you're not supposed to use the police database for anything other than official business.
That's
which
wrong.
he used.
Yeah, that's wrong.
So check out his
Well, we
target.
always say if you're going to get caught by suspicious Google searches or anything, you're supposed to put for school essay at the end, for spec script. Yeah, for thesis paper. Don't come at me, FBI.
Well, let me throw out a hypothetical. Suppose after looking up the address of this woman, Valle purchased chloroform, ropes, butcher's tools, and a storage locker with inexplicably some electricity. Should the police move in and arrest him then?
The police should follow him until he's actually in a position to commit the crime. You can't arrest somebody for a crime they have not demonstrated they're going to. You just can't. I know it sounds horrible, but that's how you get these terror conspiracies where you end up entrapping a bunch of young people for going to blow up a mosque or whatever when they weren't going to do it unless you suggested they do it and then said, hey, I know where you can buy some stuff. And then you drive them to go buy some. That's entrapment. I mean, it's you just can't, you have to demonstrate that they're actually going to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't that how a lot of stalking victims end up getting killed by their stalker because the police say we can't do anything until he actually does something.
Right. But stalking is doing something.
Even looking up her name.
But did he stalk her?
There's no evidence that he made contact. So I don't believe there's any.
And is there any evidence that he did go and buy all the supplies and rent a?
No, he didn't. He didn't have any of the tools.
Okay, he didn't buy a Walmart murder kill kit.
No,
which you can get in aisle 7.
Yeah.
Just ask the greeter. He's like, there you go. It's a shovel.
It's a real gray area for me.
I can see that.
I'm glad I'm not police.
Same.
So Valle now lives in Arizona. You can get a cameo for $6.
No way.
Yep. That's
$6 only.
Are you going to play it now?
No.
Hi, Rebecca.
Valle is the author of several books in the horror subgenre splatterpunk. So this is he has a memoir. It's called Raw Deal. Raw Deal, for fuck's sake.
What?
Get it? Raw Deal.
Is the meat?
Yeah. See,
we're not helping her not be vegetarian anymore. That's for sure.
Or look up splatterpunk.
No.
For school essay.
For spec script. I'm not going to do it. No.
We're driving Kimberly further into vegetarianism right now.
So disgusted.
He has done fiction. One of the books is called Gathering of Evil. It's about 2 women who've been targeted by a group of men on the dark web who have fantasies of kidnapping and raping them.
Oh.
The reviewers said, though, he needed to flesh out the characters more. That's going to do it for us. We want to thank our special guest, Kimberly. Kimberly, where can our listeners follow you online?
At Dateline. Please don't send me any of his books or cameos. Thank you.
And Rebecca Lavoie, how can the listeners follow you?
Well, if you would like to pitch me on buying your cameo for Kevin for a holiday or birthday, you can find me at Reb Lavoie.
And you can track me on Twitter at Kevin P. Flynn. You can also tweet to us at Law & Order Pod, or follow us on Instagram at These Are Their Stories Podcast, or like and subscribe on YouTube and TikTok. Our newsreader was Cy Frater. Our theme music was composed and performed by Uncanny Valleys. Content assistance from Travis Roy. Lily Flynn handles promotions. All clips in this podcast were used in compliance with U.S. Copyrights Act fair use exemption for criticism and commentary. Go to lawandorderpodcast.com and sign up for our newsletter for a chance to be our next Law & Order Marathon winner. These Are Their Stories was recorded in the Treehouse Yoga Studio above the Mockingbird Cafe in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi studio, and is a production of Partners in Crime Media.
Partners in Crime Media.
Radio Andy.
Hey, it's Andy Cohen. Join me on Andy Cohen Live, where it's just you, me, and some of the world's biggest celebrities. Paris Hilton, Chelsea Handler, Seth Rogen. I love you, Miley. Thank you so much.
You can listen to Andy Cohen Live at home or anywhere you are. No car required. Download the SiriusXM app for over 425 channels of ad-free music, sports, entertainment, and more. Subscribe now and get 3 months free. Offer details apply.